Welcome to the Gaming Outsider. We're celebrating The Legend of Zelda this week, which just turned 40 years old on Saturday. It's one of my favorite game series. I'm stoked for you all to hear Zach's history lesson on the franchise. Some pretty big news as well, with some major leadership changes over at Microsoft, and Nintendo made a pretty significant announcement about the Pokemon games. You'll also hear our impressions of new games such as Crisol, Theater of Idols, and Ys X Proud Nordics. We also played a bunch of demos, including WheelMates and O3 Hollow Descent. We're so glad you're here. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. Can you tell I'm excited to talk about Zelda this week? Our community can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. Community over at facebook.com/groups/the GoCast, and even a Discord server. You can find the link in the show notes of this very episode. It is Monday, February 23rd. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Zach Parkerson. How you doing, sir?
Zelda is cool.
I'm glad.
Just wanted to confirm.
I appreciate that, man. I need this constant affirmations.
Yeah, that, much like a golden retriever.
Shut up. Also joining us, Jake McGunderson. Jake, how you doing?
Shots fired. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I had a 3-day weekend, and things are kind of crazy in our house right now because my wife and I are fostering yet another cat. We are bleeding hearts when it comes to stray cats that are outside, and so there's a cute little kitten/adolescent cat up in my spare bedroom right now.
Is this the unexpected guest you were telling us about?
No. I had an unexpected guest that kept us from playing Baldur's Gate 3 this weekend. I actually had a listener of my other podcast, the Packers Fan Podcast, that was driving through Rockford on his way to Wisconsin and wanted to get together for dinner, and then wound up at my house. So,
oh yeah, things went well, huh?
No, not that kind of
long-time listener, first time.
No, he wanted to see the Nintendo collection. He heard me talk about it, and he had never seen it. And you know me, I love to show off the Nintendo collection.
Why invest all that money if you can't show it to anybody? Right?
I know, right? That's my argument. So, anyway, let's get into the games we've been catching up on. I played some more Borderlands 4 this weekend with Joel. Actually, I was off on Friday, and I think it's the earliest in the morning I've ever played with Joel. We always play at night, and it was kind of cool just getting up and playing at 8 in the morning. That was a lot of fun. A game continues to be awesome. I am looking forward to it every week. It's my go-to. I also jumped into a little bit of Metroid Zero Mission just because I forgot that game was on Nintendo Switch Online, even though I had already played it on Nintendo Switch Online. And guess what? That game still holds up. And I realized how short that game is because, your save file is in there. Mm-hmm. Last time I beat that game in 3 hours.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's a... Man, it's just what a game. So having a lot of fun with that. Already can't wait to play some more Borderlands. Man, dude, the humor is absent in that game. It's not like
you saying it's back to the first one.
No, like Claptrap is still there, and I actually don't like Claptrap this time. I don't know if it's because it's clearly not the same voice actor, but they're not doing pop culture references. There's not Handsome Jack constantly quipping these goofy things. The humor is more in the absurdity of the quests that you have. Did I tell you about the last quest that we had with the missile? Did I tell you about this one?
It does not sound familiar.
So we
came across this what? We came across this town, and we are contacted by this female voice, or what I presume to be a female voice, and it says, "Hi, my name is," I can't remember her name, but I'm a missile. I'm in the middle of this town, so yes, we came across a sentient missile. You come across this, imagine Megaton, but instead of it being a giant atomic bomb, there's a long, slender missile in the middle of this town, and you go up to and talk to it, and there's a core in the middle, and she talks to you, and she's all worried that she's a dud, and she wants to. She asks you to find her missing parts so she can be reconstructed and she can try to fire again to see if she actually does explode, because she just wants to fulfill her purpose. And that's your quest, is to go collect all these parts. And it's silly, but it just puts a smile on my face that somebody thought up that idea. So that's the kind of humor that you're dealing with this. It's not the I don't know. I feel like Borderlands 2 was a lot of pop culture references, like the Top Guns and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and things
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
that.
say the quest you described sounds way closer to the first Borderlands in terms of tone,
Yeah,
which
it's
was a good, funny game.
Yeah.
so maybe I am selling you on it then? Just I don't know.
I would probably just replay Borderlands 1.
Yeah, but I'm not playing Borderlands 1.
Well, you're already playing Borderlands 4 with, Joel.
I know,
But
but
you
it's
could
I
be.
could do 4 players in this game. I'm just
I
saying.
see,
I
I
may have
see.
convinced, David Newman to come join our party. He was not available this weekend, but, we're gonna try to link up this weekend, but there's a pretty big release coming out this weekend that I feel like is going to take up a lot of my time, but we're getting ahead of myself. We'll get there soon. Jacob, what have you been catching up on?
Well, because of the release to console, I finally decided to pick up Icarus. Icarus is made by Rocketworks, which is also the guys that made Stationeers. So I was kind of excited. This game is a lot of fun. It's a world survival craft, blah blah whatever. So it's right up my alley anyway.
Yeah.
But the reason why it took me so long to get it was because before, when they talked about it, it wasn't survival crafty kind of. It was about doing missions. And so you drop onto the planet, you do your main objective is to do a timed mission, but also to survive in the wilderness. So you're collecting stuff along the way to do your mission, blah blah whatever. You do your mission and then you get out. Now they've added a long-term survival quest type of thing that you can collect missions and do stuff. So excuse me, me and Mindy decided to pick it up and we're playing it. So we're kind of surviving through the days and in the wilderness by ourselves. And she doesn't know this, but we have to go into a horrendous desert with giant scorpions soon. So
does she not like scorpions?
Isn't she listening?
She doesn't like anything that's big and scary. So,
Yeah.
but
quick question: what makes Icarus different than other open world crafters?
It's the idea. It feels a lot more like Ark, in the idea that there is something above the game. There is this idea that you can change the location of your characters by sending them to someplace else. And with the mission format, your idea was to go down, collect materials, go back. You would do something, upgrade your stuff. I haven't played the mission part yet enough to know what actually happens but I know with this one, you're surviving on the planet, going exploring new areas, and then you bring all your stuff that you find back to your base, and then you can send it up into the sky. You can exchange it for different types of materials, different kind of currencies and all that kind of stuff, and take it onto new planets or new adventures that you go and do. So it does even the HUD, or maybe not just the HUD, but the item moving stuff in between boxes and stuff feels a lot like Ark, although this is more of the portion I'm playing right now is like deer, rabbits, all that kind of stuff. There's no dinosaurs.
A little more grounded in that way.
It's a little bit more grounded, but then as you get further and further into the game, the creatures get outrageous. I know there's like 20-foot tall worms and giant gorillas and stuff that you have to fight. So I mean, the basis of the game is terraforming gone wrong. And so you go to these planets that have been being worked on, but the work has spawned new kinds of creatures. And so you're exploring these new environments that you accidentally made.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I do kind of like that. And your character, like at least on the store page, is this like cool looking astronaut person.
Yeah, and that's you're that person the entire time. You have to balance oxygen, hunger, and water the entire time. Even if it looks like you can breathe the air, you technically, I guess, can't breathe the air. So you have to pick up these rocks that can be made into oxygen. And so you're constantly trying to breathe. But that means you can go swimming unlimitedly because, and I don't know what it is about swimming in games, but I like being underwater. But you don't have to worry about your oxygen because you always have to worry about oxygen.
Right. Par for the course.
Heat and cold play a factor in this game.
Wait, you just carry around a rock with you underwater and just suck on it once in a while? Or
no, well, yeah, I mean, technically, yeah, you can, but there's as you progress technology wise, there are tools to transform that rock into more usable oxygen, so you can use less rocks and have more oxygen longer. So yeah, I mean, technically in the beginning of the game, I was just picking up rocks and eating them for oxygen. So yeah,
that's just crazy. What else have you been playing?
I decided to go back and do kind of like a 1-year report on hydroponics farm and store.
Yeah,
Uh,
you reviewed that at I guess early access launch. It was very
mhm,
early access, wasn't it?
yeah. Um, but I stopped playing it because I hit this point where I didn't feel like I was growing in the store anymore. Like growing, the store wasn't growing, and I couldn't do stuff like the next checklist item that I had to do for the game was collect or have in my inventory $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was only making like $3,000 a day, and every 7 days I had to spend $10,000 to rehire all my workers that were making it possible for me to make the money. And so there was just like give and take for like, I mean, I ended up putting the game on. I have 2 monitors, so I put the game on one monitor, and I was playing games on my other monitor just to waste time because it took. I think it took like 14 days for me to collect enough money to finish that quest.
Jacob's the only person I know that plays a game in the background while he hasn't. Like I watch Netflix while I'm doing work or something. Jacob is literally playing 2 games at the same time.
It's impressive.
It's not the first time I've done that, but I mean, but again, I wasn't playing the other game. Like I would.
You weren't
pause.
actively
I'd
participating.
pause this
in the
one,
other.
press the window button, go over to that one, end the day, start the day, and then let it sit again.
I'm picturing
So-
Jacob like in the next like 10 years, just with a command center of like 8 monitors in his basement that
He's
he's
like
like,
the
passively playing all these games and goes
is
back
he like the
and forth.
architect in the Matrix? He's got
Yes.
yeah,
No,
entire room of screens.
no, no. I'm not that far gone, but yeah, it was probably one of the only times that I've done that because like that section of the game, it took me like 4 or 5 hours to complete, and all I was doing was watching the screen. It was bad.
All right.
The next section got a little bit more exciting, but yeah, that section was horrible.
So is it better now, or have they fixed anything?
No.
Well, okay.
It unlocks a to get the $50,000 unlocks marketing, which then allows you to spend a certain amount of money to grow your business to get more patrons into your store. And it feels like that should have been implemented really early on to make the $50,000 goal easier, because now I'm making like $40,000 a day because I just decided to spend the $50,000 on marketing. And now everything's hunky dory. But
maybe you should have done that first.
So I know I wish I could have. Man, it was so hard to get there.
If business was
Imagine
easy,
that.
everybody would do it.
Yeah, right.
Right. God.
So really, it was a you problem.
What do you mean? No.
You didn't pay for marketing. How do you expect to make money if you don't have marketing?
The marketing wasn't unlocked until I beat that goal of getting $50,000.
Oh, I see.
That's the problem. Like it should have been like the cheaper forms of marketing should have been available to me before I had to do that. Because
Gotcha.
once I had the $50,000 and it was like, check, okay, cool, here's marketing. The highest one you could spend was $40,000, and I wasn't spending money, so I was like, okay, dump all the money that I just earned into that one, and now I'm just making a buku amount of money now.
All right. Are you
Buku
enjoying
is a
it?
serious. I mean, it's coming back around now
Then? All right.
after like 10 hours of just watching the screen.
Zach, what about you?
Well, I'm still plugging away at Trails in the Sky First Chapter and Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader, but those are
Yeah.
just long games where I don't have a lot new to say.
Yeah.
They're both great. Rogue Trader amongst the
Think-
best RPGs I've ever played,
Wow.
and other people should play it. And then on the 40th anniversary Zelda, I did boot up my Zelda Game and Watch.
Oh,
early
hey,
edition.
I got one of those in my classroom, just like up for an actual clock.
Oh yeah, this is just plugged in all the time.
No, I was worried about burning it out. I do have a boxed one in my collection. Don't worry.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
of course.
But I didn't want to. Yeah, like I said, I didn't want to burn it out. But I do. It is fun to watch the kids just try old school Zelda. You know, these kids that their only experience is Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, guys, this is what Zelda was like.
All
Also,
right.
they hate it.
I mean, they don't have a whole lot of time. You know what I mean? They're just
Right.
trying it for a couple minutes. You know, when we were kids, we had nothing but time to explore, and it took us that first time. How long did it take us to find that first temple? Right? Like,
Right.
You know,
For those kids, they just get to learn that it's dangerous to go alone.
yes.
Like this.
I used to have that I have a plaque in my classroom with 2 hooks on it to put bathroom passes on.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was really clever. I thought that was great.
You
In
snuck a
the,
little
uh,
Zelda in there.
Yeah.
when early days of R2V2, when I was still handing out bags at the front counter, I used to say it's dangerous to go alone, take this.
That's
And then I'd
actually
give them a
great.
bag.
There
So
you go.
I think we should keep that going when we pass out those bags.
it's getting harder, man.
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I played a little bit of Zelda 1. It holds up. What is there to say about Zelda 1?
Right.
But then you and I, Scott, have played Absalom.
Yes, everybody kept talking about this on the podcasts in particular we both listened to, and I was intrigued. It was on sale, so we picked it up, $20, Switch.
Right.
I think this is the first time I've played an online game on Switch that wasn't Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart and Splatoon are really my only multiplayer ventures on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you want to explain to the listeners what this is?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a pretty easy setup. It's a 2D beat 'em up roguelike. So every run is different. It's this, big, just a high fantasy setting that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mostly played as a dwarf guy. You mostly played as a sword person.
Was it mostly? I feel like we switched at one point.
We did one run.
Oh, that's right. We did one run as me as a dwarf. Yeah. So I gotta pat myself on the back here because I somehow convinced Zach to play this game. A guy that notoriously does not like beat 'em ups.
Yeah, dude, I do not care for beat 'em ups.
And I said, "Why don't you play this beat 'em up with me?" And he's like, "Okay." And
but it's the other games you could be playing together.
Yeah, I mean that we knew that it was just kind of a lost cause at this point. That Dead Space 3 is just not going to happen. It's going.
I'll never know. I'll never know what happens with John Carver.
So I am really impressed with this game. Like even Zach, I think, was impressed with what they're doing with this, and
I did not hate it. So that's a good endorsement.
I do not hate it.
I even dare say liked it.
He did.
Yeah, it was neat. Because it is a roguelike, so everyone is different. It can do a thing that I think is really clever that you actually, I think, pointed out first, Scott, where it can just totally replace what your attack button does, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not, the problem with beat 'em ups is that the first 5 minutes is the same as the next 4 hours.
Right,
with just no variation. But Absalom, you can, because you're getting different power-ups, and maybe your standard attack builds up a tornado if you land 3 hits or something. But then, maybe after the next boss, you get a thing that just replaces your regular attack with an uppercut.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually changes your move set, so you are doing different things and engaging with enemies in different ways.
And I feel like the other thing that was really refreshing to me was the boss fights, because I'm so used to in beat 'em ups, you're just trying to figure out how to get an attack in and get out before they attack you or whatever, or I don't know, come at them from an angle like you did on the old Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups.
Making sure you have enough quarters to just get through it.
That too, which the Xbox 360 version made the Turtles game actually fun because it didn't matter. You could just kind of go through that game. But I don't know. It felt like there was actual strategies to it, because there's more than just a punch and a jump, or like a jump kick. You know what I mean? You've got a dash attack. You've got a jump in the air attack. You've got a block and a parry. There's like a block and a parry system, which I don't think I've ever seen in a beat 'em up. I'm not saying it hasn't existed.
That's true. Yeah, because it's a dash parry where you kind of run into the attacks. It's really fun to use.
Mm-hmm. And it feels good when you actually land it, and because it makes the enemy stumble and fall, and then you actually get some extra chances to attack.
And it works on bosses even.
Yes, and it just feels really good, and it does that glorious thing of that roguelikes do, where even when you die, because you're gonna die, you get to go back and spend your points. And it took us a while to figure out, because they don't really spoon feed you.
True, the hub area I think is a little messy.
Yeah,
but you figure it out.
And but then you have lots of different currency. There's a lot of things to spend after each run, but it unlocks all sorts of things, and you just feel stronger the next time you go on a run, and then couple that with the fact that it's going to be a very interesting run, because it's going to play completely different than you were the last time.
And to their credit, there are new story beats every run.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't care about the story.
Yeah, I didn't either, clearly, because you kept yelling at me for skipping the dialogue. You're like, "Why are we talking to him if you're
Well, I
just
just
gonna skip the dialogue?"
okay.
I
Well, it was
I
just
don't care about the story, but stop skipping everything.
it was just because Scott kept being like, "Yes, this story's just not grabbing me at all." I was like, "Well, yeah, man, you skip every piece of dialogue. How could it grab you?" Though, to his credit, whenever they did talk, I was like, "I don't care about any of this."
Yeah, because
There's like war between immortal gods or whatever who picking their chose. I don't care. I just don't care.
I don't either. Yeah,
This conversation sounds like my 12-year-olds like years ago. We're like, why am I on this mission? I don't know. Did you listen to the dialogue? Well, no,
Right.
but I didn't want to listen to it. I didn't care.
Well,
That's why you don't know.
the specific thing Scott's referencing where I was giving him crap for like, well, how could it if you're skipping was like he's like, I don't even know what we're supposed to be doing right now. I was like, well, how could we? He keeps skipping all of a piece of dialogue.
See, there it is. that's the problem.
Well, but I mean, a lot of it was
Hey,
you go up
listen.
and you click on this to start a dialogue, and I'm like, I can't not start the dialogue if there's a twinkle there because it might get me an achievement or something. So I have to, I have
There
to
are no
initiate.
achievements on Switch.
It's just burned into my brain, man. I can't not do it. Ah. But
It was
yes,
fun.
I am pleasant. Oh, the thing we didn't talk about was the progression system, which is really clever in this because you and I played together. But the way that the game is designed is that if you go and play on your own and I play on my own, once we come back together, the game, I don't know what how they do this, but it basically prevents you from being spoiled by anything that the other player has played in terms of the story. Now, again, we don't care about the story,
Right.
but you're not going to have the risk of seeing anything that you don't want to see. And
Because
it's
it
just
reverts to the earliest player's story progression,
Mhm.
but you still get to use your character with their upgrades and stuff, and you keep your currencies when you leave.
Right.
So you're still progressing your character when you're playing with your friend, even if you're further ahead in the story.
It works great.
That's
Um,
actually nice.
Yeah, it was really seamless in that way. That was nice. Absolutely.
and they explained it
better
very
than-
well and succinctly. I really dug it. I was
Ye-
a little worried when we started to play because like right off the bat, it was a little janky in terms of latency,
Mhm.
but that was
Oh
only
yeah.
for like the first 15 seconds, and then it was seamless after that. So I don't know. Now,
It-
granted, I was playing on a 2 and you're playing on a 1.
Yeah, I was worried about that because we're in different generations of Switch, but it figured itself out.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other thing about progression they do is where you'll have objectives in certain specific levels because the run is like a map where you're always progressing one of three paths,
hmm
and you might have an objective to like break a cog wheel in this area, but if you miss it on that time, that means that the bridge is not going to be lowered for the next time or whatever.
Mhm.
It's
Plus,
cool.
we kept finding like little secret areas. I was
Oh, yeah.
reminded of
Mhm.
like Super Nintendo era, the Super Mario World, where like you just discover like this secret side room or whatever. And again, the keyhole and the key and all that kind of stuff, and just that sense of I found something was really cool here and rewarding. Like you got really cool stuff
That-
about it.
When I'm also surprised, I also get possessed by Goofy.
Yeah, is that gonna
Oh,
be your
yes.
ringtone? You're gonna
That
have
is what he
Kevin
did.
lift that out of the episode.
Oh,
Oh, much better, much better.
All right, that is what we've been catching up on. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. As a reminder, you can find out all kinds of news articles on our website, thegamingoutsiders.com, including the following stories. There is a game called New Heights, Realistic Climbing and Bouldering. It is an independent climbing game developed by climbers. It leaves early access on February 26th and will be on sale. Also, O3 Hollow Descent. It is an impressive looking roguelike. Bullet Hell from a solo dev. I'm actually going to be talking about that one later in the What You've Been Playing segment. And lastly, Everrail, part survival, part shooter, part flyer. Looks great. Demo will be available February 23rd through March 2nd. That one looks really interesting because it's got this whole mechanic of it does the roguelike thing where like you're on a train and you have a certain number of survivors on this train. So when you die, instead of coming back, you just start playing as another survivor. Once you run out of survivors, it's done, which I
That's
think is a
cool.
really clever way to do that. So,
Yeah.
but it's it's got a bunch of different game mechanics in there. As for other news stories in the industry, Sony is shutting down Blue Point Games. Pokemon is re-releasing their most important entries, and Xbox gets a change in leadership. Let's see. I'm going to start with Zach this week. Zach, what story would you like to talk about?
Did I just noticed it's a trifecta. All three of the console companies get talked about this week.
Oh, yeah. And one of them, like, was the Sony story, I feel like, was the big story, the big negative news story this week, and now nobody cares about it. All they want to talk about is Microsoft.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about whenever PlayStation has bad news is you just have to wait a day or two, and Xbox comes along and does something even stupider. You know what? Let's talk about Sony's stupidity.
Okay.
Yeah, they're shutting down Blue Point Games, who is responsible, of course, for the incredible remakes of Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls, which I still think that PS5 Demon Souls is the best looking game I've ever played.
Ever?
I think so.
Man.
I mean, what do you mean ever? It's only a couple years ago it came out. It's just a stunner.
No, but I mean, a remake being the best looking game you ever played is just still like.
Well, that's why it's easy.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, they get to put all the time into animations and graphical fidelity because they don't have to actually make a game.
I'm just saying, like this. One of my New Year's resolutions was to beat a hard game, and that would fall under that category. So you're saying, but you've been rallying me to play Bloodborne more than Demon Souls. So you still think I should go that, or should I go for the more beautiful game?
Well, I mean, ultimately beauty doesn't matter. It's the quality of the game that matters, Scott.
Okay, so Bloodborne it is.
Bloodborne's a better game.
All right.
For sure.
Anywho.
Yep, there's officially closing down in March. Over 70 people will lose their jobs. And the last game we know they were working on was a God of War live service game, which was canceled in January last year.
I wonder if that's what this is all about.
Gods of War.
They were told to do a God of War live service game, and they fought against it.
They were not. Blue Point they've said publicly that the God of War game was their pitch.
Really? Okay. Never mind then.
Because they assisted on Ragnarok, and then I guess they had an idea for how to make a multiplayer, live service God of War, and they pitched it. Because I don't know if you remember this. I remember this because it was the weirdest thing I'd ever heard. When years and years ago, after the Demon Souls remake was out, Blue Point said they didn't want to do remakes anymore. They wanted to make new games, but they didn't want to have to make a new franchise. And I remember thinking, like,
they want to iterate on everybody else's stuff.
That's exactly. I was like, that's such a weird desire, but more power to you. And I guess, they found it with the God of War game.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes me feel. That makes me feel a little less bad for them, but still, this decision is so odd to me because I feel like I don't know the numbers. I don't know how well they're selling, but I feel like their game sold well. That's easier money, isn't it?
Yeah, because they also did the Nathan Drake collection, the Metal Gear Solid HD collections back in the day. Like they were the best remaster game in town, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of cool that Sony said go ahead and try to make something somewhat new, but it sounds like that was their downfall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they tried to pitch new remakes in that year since, but I bet PlayStation just they've lost a whole lot of money on many different gambles this generation. So I'm sure they were just looking for ways to save more money by, but so many jobs will do it.
Why not just redirect them back to doing that instead of,
because corporations are always short-sighted.
I just don't get it, man.
Dude, half of what they do doesn't make any sense.
Now you said 70 people. I thought there was over 100 people there. Did some get redistributed or?
I don't know. This is just the number I saw in the article I linked to.
All right. Blue Point Games, rest in peace. There's one every week, it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks because I don't know what PlayStation is doing. Like, what are they doing this generation, Like, I feel like they're really lucky that Xbox doesn't know how to run a company because this would be a good time to seize in,
I mean, yeah, if they released games for their newest platform.
Well,
but instead, they're talking about having a new platform already without having substantial games on their old platform.
They're just amputating they're amputating the damage dependent to try to move on.
I'm to the point where I don't feel like I even want to think about a next generation for like 5 years. I mean, I know I have been sitting on this console for a long time, but I'm happy sitting on this console. Like, even if I run this in the ground, I would rather buy another one than have to buy a Xbox Series X2 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not trying to sound like pessimistic, but I feel like it still doesn't feel like the generation's really started.
It definitely hasn't peaked.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of so many of the major tentpole releases were also on PS4 anyway.
Yeah.
Or the last Xbox. So it's just, I don't know. Doesn't feel like it's been game time quite yet.
I agree.
Aaron Play says, "Nah, Scott, don't buy another console. It's PC time."
Oh yeah, because I can afford a PC.
I mean, if you were gonna buy a PlayStation 6 or an Xbox 2,
No,
just go
no.
get
What
a
I'm saying
PC.
is I'm not going to. If my console dies around the time the next generation, which no coincidence, right? That's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to do it. I really don't think I'm going to do it. And sorry, Aaron, I'm not going to go the PC route either because look at video cards. There's no way. There's just no way.
Right.
Oh, RAM.
I mean, PlayStation can't even afford a RAM for their PS6. How is Scott going to afford a PC?
Right.
Yeah.
Valve can't afford to keep the Steam Deck in stock.
Oh
It's
my
rough out
goodness. All right,
Ouch.
Jake. I have a feeling I know which story you want to tackle.
Why?
Because I thought you liked a certain series that got some.
You mean
But-
Pokemon?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it when I was younger, but I haven't played an actual Pokemon game in like 15 years.
Okay. Well, I'm curious how you feel about this news then. How about I take this story then?
Yeah,
since
I guess
you
we're
clearly
talking
don't
about
wanna
it
talk
now.
Go ahead, Scott. Run with it.
So, Pokemon is releasing their most important entries, according to Zach Parkerson.
Well, I think
Fire
these
Red
first games are pretty undeniably the most
and
important.
Fire Red and Leaf Green are releasing on February 27th for Switch and will cost $19.99 each. They will not be getting any kind of physical release. This is digital only. It will not be part of Nintendo Switch Online. And there will be a Pokemon showcase on the 27th as well, since it is Pokemon Day. Now, I just want to go on the record and say this was one of my predictions. If you remember, partway
it is.
I said they were going to be bundled. That was the one thing I said in my prediction, is that they were going to be bundled. But I did say they were not going to be on Nintendo Switch Online, and they were going to be
That's true.
$20 each. I think I said it was like $20 each or $35 for both. I think was what my
I don't
prediction
remember the
was.
pricing you gave out, but
Okay, we'll give you 1/4 a point.
no, we're not deciding the points right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll
Besides-
do that in 2027 at the predictions episode.
Yeah.
But
All right, fair enough.
What
So-
do you think of the pricing? Because to me, I am
thought it was
surprised they are this cheap.
that's what I was going to say. I thought you were going to say you were surprised they were that expensive. I was shocked that these were $20.
I thought they were going to be six. They could easily charge 60 each and sell 10 million copies. Easily.
I mean, even 60 for a pair, like
yeah,
$30 each would have been. They would have sold. I'm shocked by that $19.99 price.
Pokemon fans are rabid. No gamer has self control. You combine those things, yeah. I think they could have easily gotten away with $60 with absolutely no upgrades whatsoever.
I was gonna say it's not a remake; it's just a re-release.
Yeah, so
No, but they did
do
do-
remaster, right? It's just a port.
They did do quality of life upgrades, didn't they?
What are the quality of life upgrades?
I mean, it's hard for. I just remember seeing in the trailer. I thought they said something about they made some minor changes to make quality of life upgrades, but I didn't play the original game to know what the difference was. It was like, oh, you no longer have to do this or something in the trailer.
Mhm.
Am I misremembering?
I don't remember. I just remember, I was so blown away by the price that I couldn't remember the other details. Because I think $20 is a good people of my age who played the first two Pokemon. I think that's a good price to be like, yeah, I'll pick it back up.
Now you're gonna pick it up?
Yeah, I think I would pick up Fire Red for sure.
Fire Reds. I was gonna ask if you're gonna which one, or are you gonna pick up both? I mean,
It had
both was
Charizard on the cartridge, bro.
So loud.
I feel bad for the blue fans. They just got erased.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was 3, wasn't there?
There's no sea blue out there.
I don't know. I thought this was really, really cool, and it was announced on on the 40th anniversary. Why? Okay, the 40th anniversary was last week. Is it 27th to 40th?
I thought this got announced because a retailer accidentally listed it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Okay,
So it got announced ahead of the Pokemon Day, basically.
So their plan was to announce this on the 40th anniversary of Pokemon, and then we get the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda, and they reveal nothing. What's a brother got to do to get Twilight Princess on the Switch?
You act like Zelda fans aren't taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like the Star Fox fans are getting anything on an anniversary.
Right.
That's true. The Star Fox anniversary was this month. February was a banger month for Nintendo.
Yes. Oh,
Dude, shout out to Aaron Plays who says, not to mention Yellow. That was my jam. Walking around with Pikachu was the business. Yeah, dude, that was pretty cool. And it was
All right.
convenient to have 3 versions. So me and my 2 brothers each got our own, version of Pokemon. That was pretty cool.
So did you do the Connect thing where like you swap, you trade Pokemon?
No, I don't. No, my Pokemon are my Pokemon.
Really?
You don't have anything good enough for me to trade. I'm sure they did. I didn't need to catch them all.
You just needed to catch all the ones on your cartridge.
That's exactly right.
Gotcha.
I was more into defeating the Elite Four, proving myself the Pokemon Master. You chumps can catalog your scientific research or whatever. Okay, I'm here to win.
I mean,
all right.
I mean, some of the Pokemon you had to trade to evolve, and I never wanted to trade.
But I had to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Right.
I feel like you're quoting song lyrics that I don't know.
Well, yeah, of course. To train them was my real test.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, to get Gengar, you had to trade Haunter.
I do remember that. Yeah,
my favorite Pokemon is Haunter, and I took my classmates like 2 or 3 weeks to break me and finally get me to trade them.
Yeah, I think Haunter. You just triggered a memory. Haunter is specifically the reason why I wouldn't trade, because I knew Haunter evolved, and I was like, I can't take a risk on losing, because I think Haunter looks cool as hell. He looks way cooler than Gengar. Get out of here.
He's right there. Haunter.
Very cool, dude. Okay. Yeah, Haunter's a great Pokemon.
We cannot see that from here.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right, Jake, we got one more story. It's all yours.
All right. Xbox gets a change in leadership. Phil Spencer, Microsoft's gaming CEO, is retiring after 38 years in Microsoft. Finally. But what comes next?
Wow.
Sarah Bond is resigning from her position as Xbox president. Matt Booty has gotten a promotion to chief content officer. Asha Sharma is taking over as Asha.
I only know that because there was a girl in my neighborhood named Asha when I was growing up. So Asha.
Fantastic.
I've heard both.
Asha Sharma is taking over as the Microsoft's gaming CEO. Her resume includes core AI at Microsoft, a VP at Meta, the COO in Instacart, but no gaming experience. So she's just there to control it, not to help it.
I mean, she's there to be a CEO, right? I mean,
right.
Boy, I have such mixed feelings about this whole story, because on one hand, I really liked Phil Spencer for the fact that he clearly understood gamers, right?
And he did play games.
He played games. He spoke our language. When he talked to us, you felt like you believed him, except for the times when he was lying.
Well, I do, whilst he was an absolute liar, it did feel like he was not even happy about having to lie. But that's probably just hopeful thinking. But he did, he did greenlight really stupid ideas like a full remake of Voodoo Vince or Phantom Dust.
Right.
Those are ideas that are guaranteed to make no money, and yet he did them anyway.
Yeah.
So he was a real one in some ways.
And the internet is all over, Asha Sharma for the lack of gaming experience and the fact that she was in charge of core AI at Microsoft, which is a dirty word in the world of video games these days.
Right.
So it's really hard to look at this as a positive. I particularly kind of got a little sick to my stomach when I saw that Matt Booty has got promoted, because I just correlate his name so much with what happened at Double Fine. Like like that whole him. That was him, right?
Where he was mad at them because Tim Schafer had promised his employees that they get to keep their own IP.
Yeah.
And Matt Booty, in the middle of this meeting, was like, "Well, that's not okay." And
yeah. It was this most awkward thing, and I was just like, "Dude, So I have a bad taste in my mouth about this guy, and then getting a promotion just makes it even worse to me. So,
well, also under his stewardship, the first party output has been nothing.
Yeah.
So a great example of somebody failing upwards.
I wish I could just like advance after doing a crappy job at my job. I mean, to play devil's advocate with this whole thing, and this is huge news, right? This is a big deal for Microsoft because Microsoft has been kind of floundering. We've been toying with, are they going to be going the publisher route? They raised the prices on their consoles 5-6 years after they launched. They have increased the price of Game Pass threefold since it was originally announced. Granted, I understand inflation's a thing and prices are going up right now, but it's just not a good look. It feels like the consumers have been suffering for the decision to purchase Microsoft Blizzard. So, what I'm trying to say here in terms of devil's advocate is that something needed to change. Whether or not that was Phil Spencer's fault, sure, he's in charge.
Well, he's in charge. Satya Nadella is in charge.
Right.
CEO of Microsoft, and I think Phil Spencer's biggest blunder was acquiring Activision.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea on paper, but it has backfired in more ways than one.
And it put a big spotlight on the Xbox division. Right. That's when the 30% profit margin mandate came down, and that's why they had to start porting their games everywhere. It's rough.
So
rough when you're under the microscope.
And again, I sound like I'm defending Phil Spencer, and it's hard for me not to because I did like the guy. Hearing him in interviews and stuff, he just seemed like a genuinely nice guy that really had gamers' best interests at heart. But, and so like part of me looks at this and wants to say he made these decisions, but how much of that was influenced by those above him? You know what I mean? Because like I remember, yes, I know he did not tell us the truth with the whole, first party games are not going away from Xbox. They're not going to PlayStation. Oh, these 5 games are going to PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like that was like the next week or something. That a lot of that felt like it was not Phil's words. Like I feel like he was kind of the scapegoat in some of that situation. That is my feelings. I don't have any proof of that. That is just my personal speculation, and I understand that that's biased because I like the guy. So, but it feels that way to me because I don't know the guy personally, but just like hearing him talk and seeing him speak, he doesn't seem like the guy that would purposely lie to gamers, but he did.
Well, I don't know if you've seen any of the additional reporting around this story, but Greg Miller,
additional speculation.
Kind of funny. Well, yeah, it's, speculation from trusted journalists, I guess. Because my point is Greg Miller kind of funny. Says he has it on a trusted source authority that Phil Spencer's retirement was not planned.
And something also that, like, the impression is that it was not his idea, and Sarah Bond was not happy with the decision, and that's why she is leaving as well too. Because
yeah, I think that the Sarah Bond thing was conjecture.
Oh, that was the part that was conjecture.
Yeah,
okay,
but the Phil Spencer thing, anyway, take it or leave it on how much you trust, I guess, Greg Miller's word. But he's a voice.
I didn't think you did.
I don't like him. That's different.
That's different.
I also don't like Jason Schreier, but he's a hell of a writer.
Gotcha.
Those things, they can coexist.
Mr. Schreier, if you'd like to come be a guest on our show, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, talk about your books only. And then additional reporting out of The Verge is that Sarah Bond, it was her whole initiative, the Xbox Play Anywhere, and everything is an Xbox ad campaign, and that a lot of people are at the executive level at Xbox are pretty relieved that she's going away.
Oh, is that a bad thing? I didn't think of that as a bad thing. The whole everything is an Xbox. That seems smart.
Seemed like one of the worst marketing campaigns in console history to me.
Wow. Okay, I'm in the minority then.
Jacob's nodding with me. So,
well, I was going to say maybe they're relieved because it finally looks like Xbox is becoming itself again rather than trying to become everything else.
Oh, so you're saying that it made it look like the console doesn't matter anymore. You can just play these games anywhere else. You don't need an Xbox. I gotcha.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah. Why would you care about Xbox when you don't care about Xbox?
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Anyway, this is some interesting news for sure. I think there's still a little bit of lead time. Like he didn't just like walk out the door today, or
Yeah, I
anything
think
like that.
he's supposed to be guiding Asha Sharma into a role until middle of this year, something like that.
Mm-hmm. I do got to say though, I don't know Asha personally. Obviously, I have not even seen her speak.
Mm-hmm.
All I've seen is Twitter responses, and I saw one Twitter response, dude, that I swear to God looked like it was AI generated. Like, what are your 3 favorite games? And I don't even remember what 3 was, but the
I know
way
she
that it
said
was written, dude,
Halo.
it was like, "Thank you so much for your inquiry," or the way that was worded, it just felt like she dropped it into ChatGPT and did this response. And
I'm gonna say this, and that because her resume includes core AI at Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
So
She was like, "Hey, it would make me sound hip to Xbox fans."
right. But I mean that's the fear that people have with her becoming the CEO is that
Mhm.
she's going to bring AI to Xbox. But I mean, it doesn't mean that she has to bring AI to Xbox. But
Well, and importantly, in her initial welcome letter that she sent out, she claimed that there will not be any soulless AI slop at Xbox, and that they want to get back to making the Xbox console important. And to both of those things, I say I don't believe you, but
right,
I appreciate that you knew what to say.
right. It's going to be soulful AI slop.
it's
There
just
will
gonna
no
be a
doubt be.
slop, but it's gonna be so.
But it's going to be soulful.
You're gonna believe in
Bad.
it. You're gonna like the way AI
I
Master Chief
love
talks to
games.
AI Cortana.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is bad news all over. To me, it's not even like the final nail in the coffin because the coffin's already been buried. Like this is just done. Xbox is done.
I mean, I feel like they were like lowering it in the ground, and now they're trying to like bring it back up. So
Trying to get some visitors to the funeral.
yeah.
This analogy is just gone like.
I hope I'm wrong.
Wanna,
I hope she turns around. I hope Asha, I hope she gets hands on Halo 2 and she's like, you know what, I've been wrong, dude. Games are where it's at, and I hope it's a transformative moment for her. And I hope she brings back Soul with no AI. But
Or she gets her hands on it and goes, "We need more games like this," and just dumps the algorithm into AI
shut up.
and comes out with like 7 Halo 2 like games.
Here's the thing. Honestly, I'm a teeny tiny bit glad that she doesn't have any gaming experience because before I read that she didn't have any gaming experience and I saw who was being nominated or being put into this role, I was like, oh, great. Twitter is going to have a field day with this because it is a woman and it's a woman of color.
Sure.
And that's all they're going to focus on. But thank God they have that. She doesn't have any gaming experience to focus on that instead. Because I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's
can't be
what
racist if they're too mad at her being a fake gamer.
Exactly. That's the minds of the
internet.
internet.
They weren't that racist at Sarah Bond.
I did not remember that. That's right. She's African American, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably right then.
I mean, I'm sure it happened, by the way. I was just saying. I feel like it wasn't overwhelming.
Right. I guess I am not giving people enough benefit of the doubt, which doesn't sound like me at all. But all right, well, that's the week's news. Let's go ahead now and jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, what's coming out this coming week that people can purchase?
On February 27th, Resident Evil Requiem comes out to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch 2, and PC, and I can probably just stop reading the list there.
You might as well. I mean,
there's no other chance. But in the interest of completion, Resident Evil Village Gold Edition comes to Switch 2, as well as Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. Tales of Berseria Remastered comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch 2, and PC. Lacera Summit Kingdom, a little town builder, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix gets a modern re-release on PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. Jumping over to March 3rd, Scott Pilgrim EX, the next beat 'em up that I can not play. Comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Legend of Kimori, a Mongolian horse career simulator, comes to PC. Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered makes its way onto every console and PC. iRacing Arcade comes to PC. Then on March 5th, we have Marathon coming out of PlayStation as it arrives to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. Planet of Lana 2, Children of the Leaf. This is a follow-up to that kind of puzzle platformer. Go to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch 2, Switch, and PC. Pokemon Pokopia. This is a weird one where he plays a Ditto who's imitating a human. That makes its way to Switch 2. And then Nevergrave, The Witch and the Curse, goes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, PC. Docked. This is you get to simulate being a dock worker. Jacob, take note.
One of our writers is very interested in reviewing this game.
Is the same writer who likes Mudrunners and stuff?
That was Nate, wasn't it?
I'm asking. I don't. You're the great arbitrator.
I think maybe you're right. Yes, actually, that is Joel is very interested in Docked.
But that comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. And then of all the remasters in the world, Poker Night at the Inventory.
I didn't know this is a remake.
PC. You didn't know this was a remaster?
No, I never saw this before, and I was like, man, that's kind of cool. I want more poker games like this of just like random video game characters.
Yeah, it was a Telltale release back in the day, but just a random property. I think it's got Max from Sam & Max, which is fun. Does it have the Heavy from Team Fortress 2, right?
Team Fortress 2, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I haven't even played that. I recognize that guy.
Yeah, this is what an insanely weird game. And they did a second one too. Like I think GLaDOS was in the second one.
Real? Oh, that tracks. Playing poker with GLaDOS would be pretty great.
So that's a lot of fun. Jacob, of what's coming out this week, what has you the most interested?
I mean, the easy choice is Docked. That's kind of a given. Did you watch the trailer for that? Because it seems like it's more than just moving boxes. But anyway, the Legend of Kimori seems really interesting to me because that's the horse like takey carry delivery. Yeah, so
I agree. I think it looks actually really good.
It does. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more story driven than it is just simulator. So that should be interesting in and of itself. But like Mongolian horse riding, come on.
Yeah, I like the specificity of the setting is pretty cool. Like 13th century Mongolia. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Scott, what about you?
Resident Evil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which one?
There's so many options.
9 for sure.
Resident Evil Requiem with your boy Leon Scott Kennedy, who I think your parents named you after.
Pretty great. Definitely Leon Scott Kennedy.
They did.
I mean, you look like him. I'm getting old now.
Spitting image.
A lot of gray there.
He's got the same beefy arms.
Right.
It's same for me. Resident Evil Requiem, PS5. Can't wait to play that. I mean, it seems like it's kind of a culmination of Resident Evil through the years. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, you're into horror games, right?
Sure am. Particularly Resident Evil and Resident Evil knockoffs.
Speaking of, we have Crisol Theater of Idols.
Absolutely.
And you've been reviewing that and playing. Is that just the demo or is that the whole game?
This is the whole game, which is a shockingly low price of $18, which is unheard of in the modern era for like a 15 hour kind of horror game. Firmly in the camp of action horror, I do want to say, less survival horror, more Resident Evil 4 or Village, where like it really is just murder everything in your path. But it is, it is fun. The big hook of Crisol Theater of Idols is that your guns reload with your blood.
Ooh.
So you have like a pistol, and in order to reload, you pop out a bunch of spikes in the like the hilt of the gun, and it just drains your blood into it. Or if you're reloading a sniper rifle, it's lever action, but the lever is actually a spike that you have to stab your fist into, and then you have to cock it back with the spike still in you. It's pretty cool. And if you're wondering, is that just a gimmick that gets old? Absolutely not. It's cool as hell the whole way through, just maiming yourself. The setup is you're playing as a gentleman from the Cult of the Sun, and he is tasked with assassinating several members of the Cult of the Sea. So he gets sent into Tormentosa, which is sort of a fictional Spain setting, and then it has a very Resident Evil Village situation where you're there's like 3 areas you get to go to, and they each have their own leader, so they each have their own kind of vibe. I don't know if you played Resident Evil Village, Jacob.
No,
but it was a kind of a kind of the same structure. And after every one, you come back to a hub. Although in this instance, the hub is a carnival fair where you get to play little fun mini games like shooting water at horses or whatever it is.
Is that also your blood?
Unfortunately, no. That is just straight water.
Just carnival games with everything that's water based is replaced with your blood.
Dude, it's super cool. And so when you reload your weapon though, you're taking away your own health. So that's the big balance of the game. Yeah. Because I didn't know that going in. I just thought it was like a cool reload look, but it actually does cost you something to reload. And it also means that your guns have universal ammo, so you can kind of decide what you want to pick, unlike other, unlike Resident Evil where you're kind of hopping from gun to gun as you waste your ammo or use up your ammo. Here you can kind of hopefully not always.
Right.
You get different decisions in that way, a little more free form, and you can get your blood back via you can like find animals around the environment and absorb them into you. It's really cool. He like sticks his hands out at them and then they just turn it into blood mush and then he just like soaks it into them. It's pretty fun. And I don't know if it
sounds terrible.
It's pretty terrible. And like part of the story is you're absorbing people as well to kind of get their memories because you can use their memories to forge blood keys and stuff. Everything's blood related.
Oh my goodness.
But it's really funny when you like absorb a chicken because you just hear like a little ghost in the background. It's like it was its last moments of life. It's really good. And because you're in this weird like sea horror world, all the animals are like sea themed. So like the horses they look like seahorses.
Okay.
And stuff. It's a pretty unique setting. It's got a lot of style, this game. And it seems to be embracing the camp of it all. Like, it is aware that a lot of this is over the top and fun. And the dialogue kind of has Resident Evil 4 energy of just utter nonsense happening. I don't know, like Resident Evil 4, you're always cracking weird jokes in the original version, not the remake. Like, I'll send my right hand after you. He's like, oh, your right hand comes off. It's goofy lines like that are in this game. The level design I thought was really clever. That really stood out to me because as you go to each little lieutenant's area or whatever, you're constantly kind of finding little shortcuts back to the opening area. So you're opening up new paths for yourself. And
that sounds very Bloodborne.
Kind of, but much simpler.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, the combat it's not like the best. It just kind of is. It gets the job done, Like rarely am I there's like one or two enemy types that can put up a challenge, but otherwise you're kind of just shooting these wooden mannequins slowly coming towards you. But it's kind of cool because they burn up in sunlight when you kill them, since you're an operative of the Cult of the Sun.
And
again, every time you're reloading, you're bleeding into your guns, and that just straight up never gets old for the entire run of the game. There are some bugs that are unfortunate. The biggest problem this game has is a weird hitching problem. Every time you kill an enemy, the game hitches.
Oh man!
Now,
is there ragdoll?
No, there's no ragdoll. But it
makes sense.
It is like if you're like, say you're panning your camera and you shoot the enemy, right? Like say you're shooting past one to get to the other, right? Mm-hmm. The camera will the game will just stop when you kill that guy, and then it'll just like fast forward, zoom you past where you were going.
Oh man,
pretty annoying. But credit to the human brain, I did get used to it. Like it always feels like like some action games where you hit a guy and the game stops for like half a second or whatever. Like it's part of the game design. It started to feel like that, although it is clearly not intentional.
I was going to say some of the hitching when like ragdoll physics first came out was because when you killed a guy, they were replacing the model of the character with a ragdoll version of the model, and so there was this like quick loading period that happened every time. And if you killed a bunch of people all at once, man,
well, that checks out because my working theory was that it was because when like I said, when they die, they like explode into sunlight and like shoot to the sky. So my theory was that it is that effect is just takes like half a second to load in every time.
Oh yeah.
But boy is it annoying.
Or they took a bug and turned it into a feature, and that's how the game.
Well, they
every
could
time
do
I
that,
kill like
but it also every time you like pick up an item off the ground, it also does the hitch.
Okay.
So less of a feature
Oh.
there.
I mean, this is also an $18 game, so
it's unbelievably priced. I don't know what Bloomhouse Games is doing with this one, but shout out to them for putting out a 12, 15-hour game for $18.
maybe because the studio is so small.
Frustratingly, the subtitles come on every time you load back into the game, even if you turn them off. That drives me nuts because I don't like subtitles. And the most frustrating bug was there's a puzzle involving you have to like get these 3 pendants and they operate as valves. But when I played it, the pendants were already on there, but I still had to go collect them. But I didn't realize that like I was like because I was trying to do the puzzle because like the knobs looked like they could turn. They were turning. It looked fine.
Oh.
But the game still needed me to go collect them to like actually trigger that the puzzle was allowed to be solved,
Right.
It was super weird, wasted a lot of time on that because it looked like it was ready to go.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there are some bugs, no doubt, but it is absolutely worth it for the price. You're getting a good solid length of a game, super fun, campy horror adventure. Really
I
recommend
love the looks of them. Like you said, the wooden mannequins, just the mouths that slide open creepily. Looks good.
Yeah, no, yeah, and there was a shocking amount of enemy variety, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if combat itself is not hyper engaging, I give them credit for they introduced new threats pretty much the whole run.
Awesome. 12,
Does
15 hours.
I'm gonna ask you a really weird question. Do you remember how big the game is, like data wise?
Oh, like file size?
Yeah.
Like it was like 16 gigs, I want to say.
It's not terrible.
Somewhere in there. It's a
I,
very specific question.
I've noticed a bloat in data sizes with smaller games, and it's like, man, I can't justify having this on my computer longer than the time that I play it because it's 30 gigabytes, and that's taking up space for other games.
Sure. As someone who has to keep Baldur's Gate 3, 150 gigs installed at all times, I can relate.
And you're on an S, aren't you?
Well, I'm playing. Well, that's on PS5.
Oh,
otherwise, if it was on an S, it would just be my Baldur's Gate machine. That's all.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, do recommend that. Scott, speaking of games that are hitching, I heard WheelMates didn't run the best for you on Steam Deck.
Not on Steam Deck. Now, I will say I played this This game is basically like It Takes Two or Split Fiction, but with RC cars. Right?
You have to be in co-op.
You have to play in co-op. I played this with Kevin, and Kevin was playing on PC. He had no issues. So anything I say with frame rate, all that kind of stuff, just know that is tied to Steam Deck right now, and this is an early access version of the game. The game is not out yet. This is a play test, not a demo.
Well, this is the dice we Steam Deck owners roll whenever Next Fest comes along.
Seriously,
the demos are not designed with us in mind, nor should they be for the record.
Mm-hmm. But I had to crank the settings all the way down in order for this thing to be in a playable state, because when I played it on the standard, whatever was set up, the frame rate was so bad. I mean, just imagine trying to play a driving game at like sub 10 frames per second, sub 5 frames per second. It was borderline unplayable playing that. However, once I cranked down the settings and made this game look basically like an N64 game,
dude, that's kind of a perk.
He was driving around a Lego car.
Dude, it is crazy watching a modern game in that low resolution, because you can see like steam coming off of the car, and it just looks like squares that are progressively getting bigger. It was kind of cool, actually.
But anyway, sounds like there's probably steam coming out of your Steam Deck too.
Yeah, probably.
Running so hot.
Some games it's a feature.
So I did get to crank it up a little bit more than N64 graphics, but it did look rough on mine. So when you look at the trailer on this, it did not look like that on my Steam Deck, but Kevin said that it looked great on PC. So just keep that in mind. Once I did get it into a playable form, it is a very fun co-op game, but it is not what I expected, because I'm so used to the I don't know how to say this, like the forgiving nature of It Takes Two and Split Fiction, where, I mean, us as gamers, looked at It Takes Two as kind of not difficult. You know what I mean? Split Fiction was a little bit more challenging, but it was just you were there for the experience, right? This is a little bit different because the RC cars, I feel like deliberately control much more like RC cars in that there's like a little bit of a second for it once you hit the gas to go. You know what I mean? This is
This
not a go-kart just tooling around, just doing you had to deliberately I was feathering the gas just to move a little bit and then turn, feather, turn, you know what I mean?
let's say RC cars are also like they zip up real quick, right? They like accelerate super fast. Is that
That's the
happening here
thing.
too?
But imagine that where they zip up really fast, but you press the button and it takes a half a second for that gas to actually engage.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You
That takes some getting used to on a video game.
now imagine that with low frame rate and like, you know what I mean? It was borderline unplayable. I kind of want someone to play it on my Steam to just to see what I dealt with and then play it on PC and see that it's awesome. So the setup of this game, it genuinely feels like a kid has set up tracks around his house for his RC cars. You know what I mean? It's a house setting. There's notebooks and that make ramps and you're going across the sink but this whole thing is about unlocking the bottom cabinet of the sink in order to be able to progress to the underground area of this level and you're just basically going from point A to point B, but you have to like unlock different things to do it, and most of those tasks require two people at the same time. So you have to get to this one spot that has two buttons. I push one button, Kevin pushes one button, and then on the other end of the map, all of a sudden the doors to the kitchen sink open up, and then we can drive in there. Then we have to get back to the kitchen sink, which is a whole endeavor because you can fall off. There's bridges across things, and if you fall off, it sucks. Thankfully, the game does this nice thing where you press R, you press the stick, click the stick, and it will bring you back to like where you were. So you don't have to like make your way all the way up there, which is a lifesaver. Because if I had to go back and redo all that and feather my gas up these ramps and stuff, it would be a nightmare. But yeah, just know this game is great, but it is not breezy. It feels like a very deliberate, take your time. You really have to get used to the controls of this RC car. Then it incorporates this mechanic where you have like a grappling hook attached to the top of your RC car, which is really weird because once you acquire it, it's just dangling and flying around on the top of the car. It's not like affixed there. It's like got this ragdoll physics thing. So when you drive, it's like flopping around on the top of the car. But in order to activate it, you have to be like the perfect distance away from whatever you're doing. It does that deal where it's got like a circle and the circle gets closer to full. And then once it's full, you're at the perfect distance. But if you go too far, it starts to go, the circle starts, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't explain that to you. So you have to we just had to figure it out. But once you get it, you use that to like swing across and you have to time it correctly. And Kevin had a really good time watching me try to get across this gap that had like flames underneath it or something, because I had to get across there and then he had to get across the other one to activate something on my end and all this kind of stuff. So he had to sit and wait for me to cross. He had nothing better to do except watching me, and he was just laughing his ass off because I kept failing over and over and over and over again. So I really hope this comes to console because I think this would be a win on anything that it's on. It is a lot of fun, but it is, like I said, it's got a learning curve to it that I was not expecting, but I kind of appreciated it for that. So there you go. The game again is called WheelMates. It is developed by Firebolt, published by Firebolt, and it looks really cool.
I was gonna say you were like, oh, you remember how RC cars drive and stuff? And I haven't played it with like one of the newer RC cars in years. The last one I had was one of those like you push reverse and it would automatically turn, so you could only go in certain directions or whatever.
I just remember the ones where like you hold a trigger thing and it's got the wheel on the side and that's how you turn.
Yep. That's yeah. There's those ones too. I remember I had an old RC car that my mom was able to control with the telephone. Because
what? Like wait, like a landline telephone or a
landline. It was a wireless landline telephone. I mean, I was like 3, but I had this old RC car. It was an old cop car, and it had a huge controller. And my mom was going to dial someone, and she took the phone off and started pushing buttons, and my RC car started to move. because it was just on the same frequency. But yeah,
That's
that's what
hilarious.
those are the things I think of when I think RC cars. I don't even think of like I know RC cars are pretty advanced nowadays, but
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Like
Mine was I had to have been like 15, 16 years old, and I saved and saved and saved to get the Turbo Trax, TRAXX, and it was a radio controlled car that had 2 tank treads on it instead of wheels. And the way that you controlled it wasn't the turny deal on the side. It was like a
yeah.
thumbstick controls, but the 2 thumbsticks just went up and down. So you could like go forward, you just press both forward, and to turn you let off one or the other. That was the coolest thing. I think it was like 13 or 14. I think I was younger, but man, that used those old NiCad batteries. Remember the ones that you had to wait until they were dead to charge them, otherwise you'd ruin the battery. Remember those? You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Nope.
So these were like if you didn't like run the battery, like nowadays, if your phone is down to 50%, you just plug it in and just charge it up till it's top.
Yeah.
NiCad batteries would like if you tried to charge them before they were expired, they would like you would only get that much charge on it the next time or something like that. It was like really weird.
Geez,
Those batteries
okay.
would just like wear out. But it was like basically a pack of 8 AA batteries, but they were all wrapped in this plastic. And then you had a cord attached to it that you would actually plug into the bottom of the RC card. It was crazy. So yeah. Turbo Trax, there's my memory. So anyway.
Kevin says Turbo Trax. Yes, that thing was badass.
All right, I'm not the only one that remembers it. Go like Google it. Seriously, the thing was awesome. It was so cool. I really love that thing.
Scott, you've also been playing, what is that? 03 Hollow Descent?
03 Hollow Descent, yes.
Is it? Okay, it kind of looks like a Q to me. That's my eyes. Anyway.
It is an O. Yeah. This is from developer TA2 Games. This is a single person that made this game. And I got a press release on this one, and it is my kind of game. It is a twin stick shooter, roguelike. But this one, you are playing like an astronaut in a sci-fi setting, and it's more of an isometric view than just a straight top-down shooter like I'm used to with these games. And there's a couple things I appreciate about this one. Number one, the beginning has kind of an open world. So like you're actually walking around to go to the dungeon. This is just a demo, so I presume like once you pass one dungeon or you complete a run on a dungeon, you have the ability to walk to another one. There's like a very isolated nature to this. You're just on your own going through and working your way through these different dungeons. And the other thing is that it just feels very, I mean, I keep using this word, but very deliberate, very slow paced. If you look at the trailer for this game, it's very much like a bullet hell type of situation, but you're not like, I mean, you can dash. There is a dash function in it, but I'm so used to games like, I don't know, Ember Knights and things like that, where it is just fast paced and frenetic. You're running from A to A and zipping around like Hades. You know what I mean? You're running around in Hades and just causing chaos. And this is more, I don't even want to go as far as to say grounded, but it has that more realistic physics going to it that's pretty interesting. So the dungeon is procedurally generated each time it resets, and you've got the 3 different doors to choose from at the beginning. You've got left, right, or up, and then you go, and then it's got the dungeon, like a Binding of Isaac situation. But then you come across enemies, and when you clear a room, then it leaves behind some kind of upgrade. Maybe it'll give you health, or maybe it will give you a new gun. And that's where the game really does a good job of making you go, oh, okay, I actually can make some progress now. Because when you go in with your initial weapon, you feel helpless. Like I've got this little pea shooter, and I'm working hard to get through these enemies. You know what I mean? And then you get like a shotgun or a rifle or something like that, and it gets better, but that runs out of bullets. So you're looking for permanent upgrades, and I don't know. And on top of that, there's also gauntlets for you to go through. So there's some really clever like laser traps where like some of the blocks will move, and you have to like be on the correct block to avoid the laser traps. It's just kind of neat that it's not just clear the room. There's always like some gauntlets to go through in other rooms as well. So I do appreciate that. I obviously don't have the full game. It feels like it might need a little bit more polish. I don't really know how deep the game goes. I didn't reach the end of the demo or anything like that, but I am impressed with what I've been playing so far. Really enjoying it. I like the sci-fi setting and the isolation, and I think it is worth checking out if you like these kinds of games. It does enough different to make it stand out for me. So again, that
I was
is
gonna say it looks a little darker.
I mean, it's just even like the color palette itself is darker, right? Like
Yeah,
there's the projectiles that come at you are bright, but
yeah.
the rooms themselves just seem very, very dark. And I don't know if you saw it in the trailer, but they do this really interesting thing. There are some enemies that shoot like an arc of projectiles at you, and when they do, there is often a gap, which is
Yeah.
clearly where you want to move your character, but you don't always know where that gap is going to be. It could be on the right side, it could be on the left side, it could be in the middle. So that's an interesting way of dodging. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're
Oh,
far enough away, you can
yeah.
see it. You're going to have more time to react to that. But if you're trying to stay close to have a better chance of hitting the enemy, you're going to run the risk of not knowing where that gap is going to be. You know, you could dash, but the dash even has a cooldown. So I don't know. It's there's some really interesting moving parts with this one, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So again, that is 03 Hollow Descent. Again, it's only on PC. I don't see any other platforms. This is a Steam Next Fest demo. So there you go.
Well, you and I both played a different Steam Next Fest demo. We played
Yes,
the pretty highly anticipated Replaced.
this game's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a 2D. What would you call it? Like a cinematic platformer, puzzle
Yeah,
platformer?
that's a good way to say it. Cinematic puzzle platformer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was like a cyberpunk setting, and you're doing a lot of walking left to right. But
Right,
it
like I
is,
hear a lot of comparisons to Limbo, although Limbo didn't have any combat, Inside didn't have any combat, but it is,
uh
it is a lot of that, like walking left to right like that and
it is
puzzle
that kind of
solving.
game though, or like Planet of Lana, or yeah,
Mhm,
that, or was it out of this world? Yeah, it is in that school of 2D platformer
mhm.
flashback. But you're right. The big distinction here is that it has combat. And it's a
Which is
pretty
so slick, man. I
yes,
am just, like, so impressed with the combat on this game because I feel like I catch myself button mashing, and I don't need to. I love a game
yeah,
that has melee combat that you don't have to just constantly mash, 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 even though I keep doing it.
and it has those kind of Arkham symbols above people's heads that let you know that you got to press a counter button, because there's just a one attack button and the counter button. And there's like a gun button that you have to
Mhm.
build up. But yeah, the enemies either have like they have different colored icons above their head for what you need to do. Sometimes you need to dodge, sometimes you got to press counter. But yeah, it's just like very fast and fun combat.
And
And you can
the
do,
animation, dude.
especially on those finishers, on the gun
That's
finishers,
what I'm talking about,
slick.
man. There, like, I mean, even just in general, this is like, it's very pixelated, but if you, like, hold it far enough away from you, like, for a split second, you're like, "Shut up." No, but I
Just
mean, like, at first glance, it doesn't look as pixelated. There's something that they've done with the
looks
color
great.
palette in here where it looks like you're not looking at pixels. And the way that
Mhm.
they've animated this character and the enemies and everything, and the sound design. There's like one spot where you're walking through and you can hear the rain.
Oh yeah,
I'm not even using headphones. I'm just using it on the Steam Deck and I'm hearing the spatial audio as I go past these raindrops. It's just really really, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it.
that stood out to me as well. The rain sound effect.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it has more. The platforming is a little bit more diversified than I expected, because you can actually almost Uncharted in 2D style, like you're climbing up, yellow ledge to yellow ledge, and you can swing from bars, and just so it's a little more involved than I feel like these kind of games usually are.
Right.
I mean,
It does
those
have this
finishers looked great.
that's the
Mhm.
part, and I feel like there's so many different ones. Like, there's like, you're not guaranteed the same finisher with whatever you do, and, like, I mean, he'll, like, roll them over and then just take his gun to their head, and, like,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
it's pretty cool. I will say I got a little mixed up because it's kind of got an HD 2D thing going on where the world is clearly 3D, even though you're operating as like a 2D sprite on it.
Mhm.
So it was sometimes a little confusing about like, oh, can I go on this or is this part of the background?
That's where I got stuck.
Yeah.
Remember I texted you? I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what to do."
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go back and realize that I could jump off this box and go up, actually, like, grab onto something up in the environment that I didn't
Right.
realize was there.
So some learning curve there, but I assume your brain will get used to it when you play more than 15 minutes of it.
Yes,
Right.
for sure. And, the story is actually kind of interesting as well. Something about you are in your like, you're an android or
Mhm.
you're an AI or something like that, that is in your creator's body
I mean, you're basically
from
a replicant from Blade Runner, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
which is a rad idea. So, I don't know. You get your standard stealth sections too, where there's, like, a beam that's
Oh
going
yeah,
in.
that's you're right. Like Little Nightmares or
Yeah,
Limbo. Yeah, definitely.
gotta make sure that you're out of that, but, I'm very intrigued to play the rest of this game. It's I don't this is like 3 games that I've played where the jump mechanics and the movement feel, I don't wanna say realistic, but they just don't feel arcadey.
That's very
Yeah.
weighty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to say it, and
Yeah.
I'm liking that that's becoming more of a thing. So,
And it'll be on Game Pass, for you $30 monthers.
well, there you go. I love it.
$30 a month for Game
$30 a
Pass.
monthers. Alright. Alright, Jake, I
Oh,
wanna hear about roadside research. This is the last one from us.
oh
I
man.
you've talked about this game in the past. This is the one where you're running a gas station as an alien, but to cover
Mhm.
yourself, you're just wearing the face of like a piece of paper with the face of a human on it over
Yep.
your face. I
I I wanted to like this game so much more than what I do.
Oh,
Oh no.
no.
Oh yes. Oh yes. It's one of those. The idea behind it is so well done. It is so nice to see a like a shop simulator with something extra attached to it. And it feels like both fall short. So there's no and I'm going to say this, and I don't want it to sound like whatever, but like in shop simulators, the idea is to make the shop eventually be self-sustaining or close to it.
Yeah.
And with this one, there's no self-sustaining nature to it. So you are constantly especially playing by yourself. You are constantly running around doing chores, doing tasks, whether that's cashing people out, pumping people's gas, taking care of trash, or other alien activities that you are doing with a probe. Um, which is funny. I mean, there's a lot of jokes because it says one of the very first things is to check people out, and it has quotations at the end of it
Eh.
that says, right, it says not in a creepy way,
Oh,
in quotations afterwards,
It's got
and then
failed already.
which
I'm out.
I was like, oh, this means that when I have to actually go do research, it's going to say like in a creepy way, and then it never did, so I was let down. But you do one of the very first things you do is you get like a camera
Jacob,
on a
2 out of 10. This game
right.
does not let me be creepy.
It didn't make the joke I wanted it to.
Right.
Like that.
But yeah, well, I mean, well, to be fair, the first one you get is a camera. Shut up. You get a camera, and the game gives you tasks. They'll show up with different models, different stuff. Like it might say, "Oh, hey, go take pictures of someone with blue hair or someone with a pink shirt or brown slacks." Okay, so then the people come to your store, and you see that they have whatever you need. You go and grab the camera, and you kind of sneak around and try to take a picture of them. Well, if you take a picture of them multiple times, at the bottom of the screen it says you've already creeped on them once.
If
So
only you had that in real life, Jake.
thanks.
Little notification that pops up whenever you creep on somebody too much.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I'm not sure I need to. I don't think I'm that creepy, but I don't know, maybe.
I'm
Just
totally
just a
joking,
little,
man.
just a little bit. But yeah, so there's no it is definitely a multiplayer game where you have to have multiple people taking care of multiple things at the same time. And because you're an alien, you do this thing that's like glorp or gloop or something. I don't know. Your character makes a mess, and it looks like a sticky puddle of water on the floor that humans can fall in, and they slip and fall, and yeah. In which then they look at it and they get suspicious that they're like, oh, there might be an alien around here because I've seen this before, which I don't know why I would think that's an alien, but they get suspicious of you, and then if there's too much suspicion that you're an alien, they send in the Men in Black, and
So
then
you
they
have to
come
like
in and investigate.
you have to
and-
constantly clean up your glorp and
Yep.
man the register. So like
I-
imagine trying to sell somebody on picking up this game and playing it. Hey, I need you to come join this game with me so you can do all the chore stuff so I can actually enjoy the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
And that's not what I want to. I mean, there are plenty of fun little quotes and things that you like. The cleaning up mechanic, like glorp, but the cleaning up mechanic is like, because you're an alien, you don't know what humans do to do anything. So the tool that you use to clean up messes is a boot with a sponge on the bottom of it, and you kind of run around and you scrub things down with it, and then it shines a little bit. Then you go put the boot back. So yeah,
there's all the time.
no, actually, you have 3 fingers and you have 1 toe. It's just kind of like it looks like a giant flipper almost. It just looks like a stub of meat with like, if you were wearing onesies, that's what it looks like you're wearing. And so you don't wear any shoes, so you don't hear, if you're wearing a headset, you don't hear like footsteps, whatever. You hear this like slap noise every time you walk. It sounds like you're slapping hot dogs on a table the entire time. I mean, yeah,
Perfect.
that noise.
Sounds just
Thank
right.
you. Thank you for the demonstration. I needed that. But yeah, the game is fun, but it is not a single player game.
Gotcha.
And me playing it single player is extremely frustrating, to the point where even I said, gas is lucrative enough. I'm not going to sell anything in the store. I put a bunch of vending machines so they can handle themselves, and then I handle the gas. So I'm just running around, and I mean, you take the money, you take the pump, you put the pump in the gas tank, you click what gas they want, and then you push a button to pump the gas.
People can't bump their own gas?
Apparently not.
Is
Depends on the
full service
state.
a thing anymore?
Depends on the
In
state.
in some places it is.
I think in New
but I
Jersey
was-
it still is. Oregon just last year allowed you to pump your own gas.
Gotcha.
So
All
it's-
right.
Man.
Roadside sorry.
Well, I was thinking, with as much alien technology as you had, that you at some point you'd be able to upgrade to self-service,
Right.
and that's just not. It seems like this game goes heavily into a bunch of people need to play this game to work together, and there's nothing after that.
Is there more than one player available to play together? Can you do like 3 or 4?
Yeah, you can do 4.
Oh,
And so
well,
there's enough people to play, and so whatever. But I mean, there's nothing for. It's very monotonous when you're playing by yourself,
gotcha.
and so it is very much a multiplayer game. But I think it's funny because I mean, the game is full of jokes. The aliens use a drop ship to get in, or kind of like a Helldivers thing where they kind of have like a drop pod
Yeah.
to come in, but the drop pod is a porta potty. And so it just lands next to the gas station, and then you get out of it and you go to work. So yeah, I mean, there's a, what is it called, a wacky inflatable arm guy that's an alien.
Wavy
that
Tube Man.
Yeah, wavy tube man, but it looks like an alien, and it entices people to stop at your gas station, but it raises suspicion because it looks like an alien.
Don't be
And
suspicious.
so you're constantly like building things to not be suspicious, or else
This
the
game
FBI
sounds
will come and
ridiculous.
screw you. It is ridiculous, but again, it's not a single player game.
Gotcha.
Sounds like it's an alien its tone, at least. So there is that.
Oh yeah.
All right, Roadside Research, that is available on PC and only on PC. So if that sounds of interest to you, it is $12.99.
Aaron Play says wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Isn't that from?
I think that's
from,
I don't know if it's from a game. I think that's a Family Guy episode.
oh, is it?
They have a whole episode or they have a little skit where he's like watching TV, and that's what the guy is selling. Is
There,
the wacky
there
wavy
was a
inflatable
game
arm
though.
guys.
There was like a Western shooter. Zach, help me out. Maybe it was the
It
one.
was a Western shooter, Zach. You know everything Western. Tell me.
Are you talking
about
about the gun stringer?
Yes, the Gunstringer.
I guess I did know, actually, Jake.
Yeah. Was that a Connect?
It was a Connect exclusive, yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Right, wasn't he
Wavy
the bad
Tube
guy,
Man.
right?
They were villain. They were bad guys. He had to shoot.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one. I mean, there was a boss one, but there was like it was just like a standard enemy, and then there's a big one at the end.
If you thought it was epic in Stephen King's The Dark Tower when the man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed, you got no idea what was in store with the gunstringer.
I had fun with that game.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Right.
It was because you were like you were
A
a
marionette.
marionette guy, right?
Yeah.
You're
Oh
controlling
my
the events,
goodness!
you're gonna be a marionette.
It actually is a Zach, you are so right. You are absolutely so right.
Does anybody
That's,
still have a Kinect camera? I wonder if that game is even playable.
CB does?
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah,
He would
He
tell you
probably
that
has
he's got-
3 of them.
He's like say he would tell us that he has 6.
yeah, probably. All right, we got one more game to talk about before we get to our topic. I sat down and talked to Rel about Ease X Proud Nordics. I'm going to play that for you guys right now. Thank you, Rel. Do appreciate it as always. I want to remind everybody.
Easygoing conversation.
Want to remind everybody.
I hate
Don't
that you
forget
made that joke.
our Discord server. We've got a new member over there by the name of Streets A Jade. He is a brand new member over there on Discord. In fact, he's going to be a guest on our podcast in a few weeks, so stay tuned. Looking forward to having Jed. Actually, it's Streets A Jed. His name is Jed. He's going to be a guest on our podcast. Also, drop us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would love to hear from you. And our website, thegamingoutsider.com. You can hear all of our content, or you can see all of our written content, including Rel's review of Under the Island that he talked about last week, Mark's review of Ghost Keeper, at least the early access version. Also, his review of the early access version of Akatori is on the site. Alyssa's review of the Alighieri Circle, Dante's Bloodline, is on the site. And lastly, Mark wrote a review on Mario Tennis Fever. Do us a favor, stop over at thegamingoutsider.com and check out those reviews. If those games interest you, we would love it if you did. Mark is always busy. He does fantastic work over there.
That's off to Mark.
All right, it is time for us to go to our From the Outside In topic. The Legend of Zelda turned 40 years old on Saturday as the original game released on the Famicom Disk System in Japan on February 21st, 1986. This seemed like the perfect time to take a look back at one of my favorite franchises. Zach has agreed to give us another history lesson about the legendary series of adventure games, and we're going to discuss what we love or hate about Zelda games and which ones are our favorites. So this is, I love these episodes because Zach does a great job of actually giving us a lot of really cool information about some of our favorite games. And this time it happens to be one of my favorite games from my childhood. So Zach, take it away.
No,
Mr. Parkerson.
It's a little less juicy than other developments because unlike most game development stories, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
You know, that's unusual. But it did start in the fall of 1984, led by Shigeru Miyamoto and Takashi Tezuka. You know, that's 2 years, pretty solid dev cycle back then.
For a massive game, like a pivotal game like this one.
I feel but I feel like back then, it was like make River Raid in 3 months, right? That used to be how games were made. So 2 years is pretty lengthy.
Well, I mean, they didn't know they were going to make a be all end all.
Yeah, they're going to invent a genre, bro.
Right. Exactly.
They didn't know they were going to invent Zelda likes.
I just called them adventure games.
Link lights.
Dude, I remember Nintendo Power used to try to convince me that it was an RPG, though. Even though it was nothing like any other RPG.
I mean, by definition, you were playing a role in a game.
I would have tired. Same with every game. Right. Doom, my favorite RPG.
I know. You could say that about. That's what I'm saying. I was not not defending them. I was quite the opposite. Right. Anyway, go ahead.
It was designed to directly parallel the upcoming Super Mario Brothers, since one was linear, one was open, etc. One was family oriented, one was more adventure oriented. Though they both retained the Nintendo idea that high scores would be unimportant.
And that sounds crazy, but like that was all that mattered at gaming in the early days.
Was kind of a revolutionary idea, even on like guitar, even on like home games, right? Your high scores mattered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think even adventure, like rated you on how fast you beat it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was always about the score.
I will have you know that I cut more bushes than you.
I bet that's true. I've heard that about you.
Don't be creepy. Don't be creepy. Don't be creepy.
Cool, Jake.
Forgot the mission objective. The game was inspired by a universal idea that the fun that kids have exploring around woods, fields, caves, and the like. I think we all have memories of the freedom and wonder of being a child exploring on our own.
Yeah. I've actually read Shigeru Miyamoto saying that like he was inspired by just going into caves, like, which sounds crazy.
Yeah.
In the
Caves.
2020s of like just going off on your own into a cave. But
Yeah. I guess youth of the current generation probably don't have that experience as much.
right, yeah.
Oh, I
There are
certainly
some-
remember that
There are some parts of the world that have interesting caves.
for sure. Of course. Yeah.
They're not none around here unless you want to get murdered. But I
I'll
mean,
say,
some
you know,
places have cool caves.
we didn't have. There's not a lot of caves in Rockford, but me and my brothers would explore like sewer pipes and stuff. That's kind of a
That's what I'm
kind of a
saying.
cave.
Yeah,
Dude, I remember when I was
I mean,
younger.
Jacob, to your, I mean, we found a bloody knife down there once. You're not wrong.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't remember. This is probably either before, I don't know when this was, but there was like an old abandoned house in Rockford that clearly had just been desecrated by people over the years, but everyone was convinced it was haunted. And we used to
Just
go
one.
explore. We'd like sneak on this property and then explore this house. There was like a Cabbage Patch doll crucified to the basketball hoop. Like, I mean, it was like there was like like people had done stuff. They had taken like their hands and dipped them in red paint and made it look like they were bloody baby footprints going up the wall. And like it was like stuff like that was like
It's
really
pretty cool.
But like we just go and explore that, man. It was.
I mean, that was part of the childhood, right? That's like oh crap, what happens in every movie? What is that called?
Stand by Me.
No,
foreshadowing. What I don't know.
No.
What you took.
cliche. There, sure.
Oh,
Sure.
It happens in every movie. Like every time that there's like a family friendly whatever, there's kids on the street. There's always that one creepy house on the end that nobody goes to, that everyone wants to explore. Blah blah blah, whatever. And I mean, it feels like everyone had that at some point.
Yeah.
And then, I mean,
you all had a fort in the woods,
right? But I mean, Scott was like, "Oh, there was that one abandoned house in Rockford." It's like, do you know how many houses are abandoned in Rockford?
Well, this is actually McChesney Park. It was actually
Still.
Man, this was it was so long ago that I don't know if you remember the geography, Zach, but it was like Perryville ended at 173 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it was right there. Like Perryville, 173 ended, and that house is like right there after you got to that end. So, and it was all by itself. There weren't a whole lot of other houses over there, and clearly it's all been torn down there. But
they tore that down.
There is a video. There is a video because we took a video camera. Well, I wonder if my buddy still has that. We got a video camera of us, like, because we were getting freaked out. Like, we heard ghosts and all. It was ridiculous. But anyway,
camcorders were so magical back then.
I was going to say, Timmy, grab your.
Yeah, those big massive ones that you had like a carrier on your shoulder. Yeah. Anyway, back to Zelda.
Sorry, we went on a little time loop there. Sorry.
Of course. Well, that's why I said it's a universal idea, right?
Yeah.
We all had, no matter what country you were in, you had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
The dungeons were inspired by traditional Japanese paper houses with the sliding paper doors, which felt labyrinthine to a young Miyamoto.
I never understood that until I played Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Like I know exactly what he's talking about now because I've actually experienced it in that game, not in real life, obviously. But like, yeah, those things could be, labyrinthian with the sliding doors. So yeah.
Yeah, we stayed at one when my wife and I visited Japan.
Mm-hmm.
One of our nights was at a kind of a paper door, old traditional house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like you could like see the shadows of the people in the next room and stuff, paper walls, you can hear everything that's going on.
Oh yeah.
It was an interesting time, but it is kind of like
everything.
The sliding door does make it feel more exploratory than a swing open door for some reason. Unless it's just
what's in here.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little more, I don't know, it's exotic, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess Miyamoto agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, the game was going to have more sci-fi elements. The Triforce was 3 electronic circuits that had to be collected and reassembled, and the game would have a time travel element. According to Miyamoto, the name Link was chosen for the protagonist as it alluded to both of these elements.
That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, this is from a recent interview, actually.
Huh.
So this is somewhat recent information.
I mean, the time travel element did come into play later, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Well, and Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time had time travel, so it always felt like Link was kind of alluding to that, like a link in history. But it's funny to think that it was also supposed to be like a link of electronic, components from one
Majora's
to the other.
Mask had time travel.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The past and future was a lot closer together in that one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like an hour.
Sometimes. Although eventually the medieval fantasy setting won out, and that was directly inspired by Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
Not surprising.
Which is interesting because that was just books at that point.
I was going to say that was the go-to fantasy source at the
Yeah.
time as well.
Right.
Because it was only been, was it like 30 years after the books came out? Is that right?
I don't remember when they were written.
I thought they were published in the 50s.
That sounds right, but I would have to look it up.
I'm not a
Here we
Tolkien
go.
expert, I don't
Google.
music, like much of Nintendo's early music, was composed by Koji Kondo, and it only has 5 tracks in the game.
I'm trying to think of what the other 3 are. You got the overworld, and you've got the dungeon song. What else? What other songs were there? Are you kind of the jingle?
Probably one of the maybe is.
The title screen.
So one of the credits, maybe. I thought the title, but in the first Zelda, the title screen is the overworld theme, right?
No.
They're
when you turn
similar.
the title screen on, it's like dun 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 dun. But then then the overworld is dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Originally, the classical music piece Bolero was going to be the main theme and overworld theme, but very late in development, Kondo learned that it wasn't in the public domain in Japan yet and was forced to write a new theme song in one day. And that is the dun, 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 that you were referring to.
Well, it does sound very Bolero-ish. Do you know the song Bolero?
Mm-hmm. Well, I did as of like 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, they're very
some research.
They're very similar.
Yeah,
in tone and in the the backing thing.
So he's like, if I can't legally use it, I will legally skirt this issue.
He pulled I got a new drug from Back to the Future or the Ghostbusters. You know that whole story?
Oh, yeah. No.
You have no idea what I'm talking about?
No. I mean, I've seen Back to the Future.
So Back to the Future, I'm sorry, no, Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, the tie is that it's Huey Lewis. When they went to Huey Lewis and said, we have this movie Ghostbusters, we want you to do this song. So he wrote this song called Ghostbusters. That's you should go look it up. Go look up Huey Lewis.
I remember this.
No. They went to Ray Parker Jr. and they said, here's this song by Huey Lewis and the News called I Need a New Drug. Make a song like that.
Yeah.
If you go listen to I Need a New Drug by Huey Lewis and the News, it's the exact same freaking song, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it's uncanny that Ray Parker Jr. was able to get away with. I mean, there's clearly differences. Kind of like Vanilla Ice, like dun 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 dun. Oh, I added that in there. Anyway,
what an idiot. The game was originally released on the Famicom Disk System, but the game sound effects had to be reworked to fit onto the NES cartridge. There was also like the Famicom controller, I guess, has a microphone in it.
Yes, you kill the bull's voice,
so you could blow into it to kill certain enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to rework those enemies. That's kind of
those giant rabbit-looking things with the massive ears.
Yeah, that's exactly the one. Yeah,
they're called Pole's voice.
See, I told you were already the history lesson, Scott. One thing you didn't know. The gold-colored cartridge was a gimmick to get kids interested at first sight, going so far as to have a small portion of the box cut away so you could see the gold inside.
It worked, man.
Yeah,
it worked, man.
Dude, I mean, like that Game & Watch that I was referring to earlier, the Zelda limited edition Zelda Game & Watch. If that wasn't gold, I might not have gone for it. But it was the right nostalgia back to that original cartridge. Nintendo spent an estimated $4 to $5 million on the game's television commercial, which is about 3 times the average of the time.
Is that the one Kevin posted on social media, the dancing link, or is that a different commercial?
I think that's a different commercial.
Okay.
Oh man, that was so.
There's
funny.
another one with the white kid rapping Zelda. Do you remember that one?
No, I do not.
The Legend of Zelda. It's really rad, dude. You gotta go look up that commercial.
It's certainly,
I was really hoping that you were going to keep that going.
Like, I don't know. I don't have it memorized, but it's like this.
It sounds like something you need to.
It's like this kid that's like a straight up, stereotypical nerd, and he's wearing the glasses. He's like, you haven't heard of the Legend of Zelda? And then he plugs it in and he starts rapping while he's playing along with it.
Oh.
It's
so it's kind of like being a student of yours.
Yes, exactly. It's a delight.
The game would sell 6.51 million copies to date to our modern era. And it spawned a franchise that has combined sales of 156.28 million.
That's a lot of copies of games. Now, granted, that's over what is that, 86? So
For
yeah,
40th
40 years
anniversary.
anniversary. God. Oh, I was gonna go do the math in my head.
Yeah, what is it? I think there's like 20, 21, 23 mainline games, something like that.
Crazy.
The spin-offs, of course.
What's your favorite? Link's crossbow training?
Of course, isn't that everybody's? I think it's pretty universal.
I own that game. I've never played it.
What's that? It doesn't sound like as much of a game. No, my favorite is Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. Mine is
Mhm.
still Link to the Past. I think I've said that many times on the show, but Ocarina of Time is really damn close.
I would say, Majora's Mask is my favorite, but Ocarina of Time is a close second for sure.
Mhm.
It's
Do you have any?
Ocarina of Time is kind of a perfect game. You really can't improve that.
I don't know how you could. Maybe add a jump button. Maybe.
No, because then you have to rework all the dungeons,
I don't know.
and you get rid of the fun
No.
of like rolling to an edge and then he automatically jumps off. It's fun.
That
What
took
about
a
you,
lot of
Jacob?
getting used to when you were a kid, didn't it?
Yeah. What about you, Jacob?
trust.
What's your favorite Zelda?
I think Ocarina of Time is a fan favorite, but my
Uh-huh.
favorite is Wind Waker.
Great game.
It's a good game.
I love that game so much. I spent way too long trying to map out all of the ocean squares.
Oh, I did it all, dude. I did it all. And then you got to like fish to get the treasure chests in each quadrant or whatever.
Yep.
Not
Oh.
quadrant because there's more than 4 of them, but yeah. I remember how much people hated the art style when they first announced that. They were like
Mhm.
legitimately
Oh yeah,
angry.
Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda, yeah. And like I just remember, and then everybody loved the game.
Yeah.
But then when like the Twilight Princess was announced, and we're like, oh, we're getting a realistic Zelda.
Well, dude, those like first trailers were like, yeah, this is hardcore Zelda's back, bro.
Yeah, it was a good game.
think-
Don't get it wrong.
I think Wind Waker is the game that made me really like boating in games. Like
Really?
being
Okay.
on the ocean and doing that kind of stuff. Because me and Mindy will play Valheim or Valheim, whatever the hell it's called. And we'll be like going through a storm and on the water and all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh man, this is like Wind Waker, getting the wind behind you and just going. Oh,
Hell yeah,
Which
dude.
is funny because it didn't look realistic at all. Like, you have like swirls in the water that were just white.
it
You know what I
was
mean?
it
Like,
was a great it was a great cartoony effect.
oh no, I'm not knocking it. It was
Right.
like it felt so good even though it looked so cel shaded and cartoony. It was awesome.
yeah.
And those
They're a
dungeons were great too.
pretty good franchise because I feel like from 1986 to about 2012, it was just nothing but bangers.
I mean, was there a bad Zelda game outside of the CDI Phillips games?
Right, and those don't really count.
2012 is when we got what?
Skyward
Triforce
Sword.
Heroes? Oh, Skyward Sword was the
Which I
first
didn't
turd.
like. Yeah. The Breath of the Wild's great, but it doesn't really in a lot of ways it doesn't feel like Zelda. It's the next step, right?
Right.
And I haven't
then-
played Tears of the Kingdom, so I can't really speak to that.
It's similar. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom has become like a Minecraft thing, like a thing to make videos, for what you can build with all that. I don't know if you've ever seen the shorts and TikToks
Yeah,
and
it's
things
got
like that.
it's got the Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts thing going on.
Yeah.
If when I inevitably pick up a Switch 2, I'll pick up Tears of the Kingdom.
There you go. Let's see. Sean Coates over on our comments here said, was Twilight Princess the one that came out on both GameCube and Wii? And for the Wii version, they had to mirror the image because most people are right-handed. Yes, that is correct. They had to switch it
Oh,
around.
man.
Because, doesn't he, like in the game, he uses the sword with his left hand, right?
Not on Wii. No, on Wii he's right-handed.
Right. But I mean Link in general.
Oh, Link is left-handed. Yes.
He's
well,
a
he
left-handed
was.
swordsman.
Is he Breath of the Wild? He's right-handed, right?
I don't remember. I don't know if I ever paid attention, but
Yeah, I think he is. It's not cool, man. Left-handed erasure.
I just
but
never
yeah.
paid attention to what hand he uses.
But yes, Retro Gamer Online. That is that game. It's a
Well,
pretty clever solution of how do we fix this? Oh, let's just literally mirror it.
Well, the reason that mattered, Jake, is when you played it on the Wii,
Well,
you had
you-
one
you-
was your shield and one was your sword.
right.
So if the sword was in your left hand, if you were right-handed, that was going to feel stupid awkward, which all the left-handed people are like, yeah.
Welcome to my world.
But I was just thinking, like, I've never, I guess, paid attention to what hand Link holds his sword in any other game prior to that.
I hadn't either, actually. I
Right.
never like even thought about it, but I mean, like in the original, you couldn't tell it was over the top, right?
Right.
Yeah. It just
So-
kind of came out of the middle of his chest and
Or even 2 and 3, like there is no really way to. Well, no, man, I'm going to go back and look at Link to the Past. I feel like he did use his right
right.
hand.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
did.
know.
But it definitely stuck out in Ocarina that he was left-handed.
Yeah.
And Majora and Wind
Well,
Waker.
Zach, thank you so much for the history lesson. That was a lot of fun to go back and man, what a series!
Thank
I
you, Mr.
remember.
Parkerson.
No problem.
I remember the first time I saw The Legend of Zelda. I was visiting. I think I've told this story before. I was visiting a school,
It's Sicily,
and
1846.
shut up. And I just, at that point, I had played nothing but score grab games and whatnot. And I saw this game, and it was telling a story, and you kind of had the freedom to go wherever you wanted to, and it saved. You know what I mean? Like having a game that saved its progress on the cartridge or on the game itself was a novel thing at the time. And it was Kevin Honigford.
Kevin says, "Man,
Not enough
Wait.
hedgehogs for him.
Wait until we do a Sonic one,
Oh, that'd be fun.
I wouldn't have anything to contribute because I only played 1 and 2 recently. So
Can't play Adventure, man. They're so good.
I played the first level of Adventure, and that was pretty rad. I played on the Dreamcast, I believe. It was pretty awesome.
oh my goodness."
And I did play the one that like had a bunch of levels from past games all packed into one.
Generations.
I played that one, and I had bought the Generations one that's got Shadow in it, so I really would like to replay that, and because those
You
games
play
were
that-
fun.
There's like one level of Keanu Reeves Shadow as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I just have such a fond memory of Zelda. The first time I ever played Link to the Past, which, as I've said before, is my favorite. I never played the game before, and my buddy said, "Here, play this," and he put me at the final confrontation with Ganon. I don't like that's what I had no idea he was even at the final boss. I was like,
So
"What's
he's
going?
like,
This is amazing. What is this?"
It's a really cool fighting game, bro.
Yeah, and then I had to start over, and
I was gonna
Man.
say,
that game was just so good about, as a kid letting myself be misdirected, because you start out going after the 3 like there was a 3 pendants,
Mhm.
and then you go to fight the final boss, like, oh man, this game is a lot shorter than I thought it was, and then you pass that, and then it just opens up, and now it's 8 crystals you have to go all, and it
Now
just
the
is
real
like,
game started.
yeah,
right.
that was just the tutorial basically, and that is one hell of a tutorial, because those dungeons were no joke. I mean, it wasn't like you just kind of did whatever. You had to figure them out, and I loved that. At that point, I was like, man, games can be something more than just action. It's something that's actually gonna have me use my brain and solve puzzles, and that's what's made that series so special for me, and why I collected it, because it's just such a nostalgic thing for me, and I love it. So let's see what the community.
I was
go ahead.
I was obsessed with Zelda when I was a kid. My
Mhm.
Grandparents have these like little stone. They have like a garden in their backyard.
Yeah.
And then they have me and my sister when we were kids each did a stone tile back there, like
Yeah.
where we. And mine is just like I wrote like Link, and I did like these little jewel representations of the items, like the bow and arrow and the boomerang and the master sword and stuff.
Do they still exist there? Do you know?
Yeah, they're still there. Mhm.
Ah, dude, you gotta like have your grandparents take a picture of that.
Yeah, I really should. And I used to make holiday cards for my family. Like I would draw them on the computer.
Uh-huh.
And my logo was Master Sword Productions on the back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Zelda was top dog back in the day for sure.
Yes. Absolutely love that game. I even like Zelda 2. I know that game gets a lot of flack, but I played through that game. I actually faked sick. No, I didn't fake sick for that. I faked sick for Battletoads. But
What
Yeah,
a
it was-
game to
that was a poor choice. But no, I remember finishing Zelda 2 while I stayed home and was actually sick. Like I actually defeated Shadow Link, which, man, that blew my mind as a kid. That was so freaking cool. Oh man.
What's your least favorite Zelda? Is it 2?
I mean, obviously we talked about Skyward Sword for
Mhm.
sure. It's gotta be 2, even though I still like it. You know what I mean?
So wouldn't it be Skyward Sword then?
Well, yeah, I thought you were, yeah, 2012, I guess, yeah. So
Yeah,
Skyward
no,
Sword,
I was asking which one your least favorite was in general.
probably yes.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, and this is I'm very ashamed to admit this, I have not completed the Oracle games, Oracle
Oh,
of
okay.
Seasons, Oracle of Ages. I made a good progress in one of them, but I never did it. They're on Switch Online, so I should remedy that. But I don't know how that works with because like you do something in one game and it can transfer to the other with a link cable. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it's not as massive as other link cable games though.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
Not to my memory, but I played them pretty far apart from each other though, so I never really got too into that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I probably shouldn't admit that, but I just have never gone back to it. They're great. I just I don't know why I never played them. I didn't enjoy them. So Zach, anything or excuse me, Jake, anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, let's see what the community said. First off, we've got Sir Goatsworth over on Discord says, wow, 40 makes one feel a bit old as I've played every single entry in the franchise. The standout factor for me is the stories these games bring with them. You get sucked into them so much you never realize how many hours you've put in. Well, maybe not Breath of the Wild. It's hard to not notice hundreds of hours looking for seeds. Ocarina of Time is the top game by far, but my personal favorite has to be Link Between Worlds. It was so different mechanically, but still kept all the story and charm of the franchise. Link Between Worlds was a great it was a great one for to follow up with Link to the Past. It was good.
I think like that Tears of the Kingdom and Echoes of Wisdom are like the only 3 I haven't played.
I didn't finish Echoes of Wisdom. I wasn't loving it. I should go back to that one.
Probably
too,
runs
but
better on Switch too.
Probably. I didn't have any issue with
you
that.
haven't finished.
What's that?
There's a bunch of games you haven't finished.
I know.
Was it MFPR in the chat?
This Sai.
Right, I see that. I was using his username. But he says that you do not need the link cable games, so therefore we need to start a petition for you to actually play these games.
Okay.
You need to remove the roadblocks from your own.
Wasn't that in my like goals? Like for I feel like that was in my resolutions for this year. I'll have to go back and look.
Man. Play more games for you.
That is a game for me.
How's your list going?
It's going well. I've got
your spreadsheet.
I have a spreadsheet. Yes, I have a spreadsheet. Aaron will be pleased to know I have a spreadsheet. And the last comment comes from Drew Ross. He says, my favorite will probably always be Link to the Past. I have fond memories of playing that way back in the day. It still holds up. Yes, it does. But the crazy thing about that game is I feel like it looked better on a CRT monitor than it does in high definition on my Switch 2.
Sure it is.
Those pixels stand out like crazy and make it look so much more blocky than I remember it to be.
Yeah.
So. All right, that is our topic for the week. Next week, we are going to be talking about ports of games to modern consoles. Not talking about remakes, not talking about where they change everything up. We're just talking about straight up ports and how those games hold up over time. That's going to be our topic for next week, but that is going to do it for this week's The Gaming Outsider. Thanks so much for listening. The episode was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Join us live every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We would love to hear your comments and see it here in the chat. Thank you to everybody that joined in for the show this week. We do appreciate it. Before we get out of here, Zach, any parting words or recommendations?
Nothing new for me.
All right. And Jacob, you're looking expectantly like you might have something to share. No? All right.
No,
well,
I just look like this.
You just always look like that. All right. I've got one. I'm late to the party on this one, but this movie just became available on Netflix, so I checked it out. The movie is called Fall. This one came out a while ago, but I watched this weekend with my wife. If you're not familiar, the premise is 2 girls decide to climb a massively tall radio tower. They're like former rock climbers, or they are rock climbers, and they decided to scale this rickety radio tower out in the middle of the desert. And as you would expect, things go horribly wrong, and they get stuck at the top of this thing. It sounds like a simple premise that would be hard to get an hour and 47 minutes out of, but they somehow manage it. And I got to tell you, this is one of the most uncomfortable movies I've ever watched in my entire life. In terms of, I'm very afraid of heights, and this
Oh, okay.
game, really, I couldn't imagine watching this in the theater because I was getting vertigo watching this on the screen. I actually had to turn away multiple times watch this movie.
Wow, interesting.
So check out that movie. It's on Netflix. Also, I was given a hard time yesterday because I'd never seen the movie Lost Boys because somebody posted in our Facebook that shot of the.
I mean, that's just surprise. I feel like you would have watched it by accident by now.
No,
Right.
I missed it. It's a weird thing. You're gonna laugh at me. I always got Lost Boys and Lord of the Flies mixed up for some reason, which are like not even like similar movies.
I guess they're both about boys that are lost, I guess.
So I don't know. So anyway, somebody in our Facebook group posted the picture of the saxophone playing guy from the beginning of that movie at the party. And I can't even remember what the video game correlation was. It was funny.
Golden Axe.
Oh, Golden Sax. Yeah,
Golden Sax.
They had like the Genesis box art of that guy, and it just says Golden Sax on it. And I was like, I made a comment, I was like, you know what? I've seen memes of this dude all the time. I've never seen the movie, and I got a lot of flack for it, so I watched it today. Boy, that is an 80s ass movie, guys.
Yeah,
That is
it's definitively
Yeah.
80s for sure.
like holy cow. And it's just a interesting movie. So I have seen Lost Boys, guys. It's a trip.
Did you like it?
Sutherland, I did. I mean, it's very, very cheesy.
Mhm.
The effects of the vampires and stuff like that are pretty cheesy, and Kiefer Sutherland's look with that white hair, and I mean, I saw him in Stand By Me as well, so I have seen him that young, but it is wild seeing that dude that young. So, all right, well, thank you everybody for listening once again. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Jacob. Until next week, I am Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Jacob Gunderson, and we are the Gaming Outside. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.
I've never